Happy Motivational Monday. Today we have a very important subject. Is fear stopping you from succeeding? If you're like anything like me, at times fear has stopped me from moving forward and from progressing. So we're going to talk just for the next few minutes about those ways that fear can stop us and then how to move forward. I'm going to talk about a personal fear that I have, and that's the fear of succeeding when it comes to weight loss. And I didn't realize for a long time that I had a fear of it. I was very, very thin my whole life. Thin as in, if we had known about anorexia in the 60s, people probably would have thought that that's what I had. So when I started gaining weight, I was a little excited about it because I felt a little stronger and I didn't look like I was 12 years old anymore when I was actually in my 30s. All of those things were great. Then losing weight or gaining weight got a little bit out of hand. You may be able to understand that. And I found that I was really overweight. And so I would try to lose weight and I would go on different diets and do different things. And I would lose a certain amount of weight. And after a while, I would stop and I would start gaining it back. Well, one day I had to really stop and say, what is the madness? They call it yo-yo dieting, all of those things. But me being a counselor, I knew that it was something much deeper than that. And what I reflected back on was when I was very, very thin, I did not feel safe and secure. I can freely say that I had been molested and lots of awful things that had involved men was when I was smaller. And I realized when I started getting bigger, I felt more powerful and like I could be in control and maybe I could handle myself is if I was in a very precarious situation. And so one day, this young lady, she had been a friend of mine and she for a long while, and she says, Renee, you're really gaining weight. And oh my, you still look good, but girl, you got to watch your weight. And I found myself saying, I don't want to lose weight. I like myself being big. Where all along the way, I had been, yes, I need to lose and I'm trying to lose and all of that. But I heard myself say that. And I had to really then not just focus on why I wasn't, what was happening when I did lose weight, but what was that underlying issue? And that's when I came to understand that it had to do with me not feeling safe and secure whenever I was smaller. And that as I got bigger, I felt like I was more in control and I felt a lot safer. But when I started really digging, I understood these 4 things that keep us from succeeding, from reaching our goals. And at different points in my life, all of these things played an effect, and I don't know, but it may affect you as well. The first was that fear of rejection. The fear of rejection. If I succeed, then, or if I don't actually succeed, then people are not going to appreciate me, or they're going to think less of me, or or I'm going to feel like I'm not in the in crowd anymore. All of those things. And when I get to this level, what may happen? All of that. So that fear of rejection. If I go out and ask for another job or ask for a raise, I may not get it, and then I'm rejected again. Or I have this great business idea, but other people may not catch on to it, and I need their backing or their support or whatever the case may be. And we have that fear of rejection. The next was the fear of failure. And for me, with my weight, that was big, was that I could lose a certain amount, but then I felt like, oh, I'm never going to get any lower than this. And So I can just stay right here and just feel like I'm not dieting, I'm not trying to lose weight, so that way I won't fail. And that happens in other aspects of our life as well, where I'm afraid of what the failure may be and the consequences of it, or just looking like I'm looking stupid in front of people. Why am I trying? Why are you trying to do something so outlandish, or something that no one has ever done before, whatever the case may be? And you have that fear of failure, as I said, and the first one was the fear of rejection. The third one is the fear of success. And for me, that fear of success was, if I get smaller, am I going to feel safe anymore and protected, and like I could handle myself? With any kind of success you may have, can I maintain the success? What is success going to look like? And are people going to look at me differently? Am I going to be able to handle it? And all kinds of things. And even sometimes it becomes very personal in the family. Is now that she succeeded in this, she thinks she's better than us. All of those are intertwined. That fear of success, of failure, of rejection, it's all in there. That fear of ridicule or not fitting in, that's all a part of that as well. I remember hearing a program or show, whichever one Oprah was doing, and she said for the longest, she had that fear of ridicule. She had all of these different fears, the fears of rejection, failure, success, and ridicule. And the fear of ridicule was that her family was going to ridicule her now because she had another level of success. She wasn't going to fit in, excuse me. She wasn't going to be able to fit in, and people were going to think, oh, she thinks she's better, this, that, and the other. And with her weight issue, then she could fit in, because even though I may have this, but I have this issue, I have that issue, so I'm still grounded, I'm still on your level. And I remembered her talking about that fear of ridicule, and I could relate to that, and you may be able to relate to that as well. All of those fears keep us from succeeding, from living out the purpose that was put in your heart, something that you have been desiring to do. But because of these different fears, we are less stagnant. And that can lead us to a depression, to feeling less than, to feeling like we don't add up, because inside we're not being true to ourselves. It's important that, yes, you recognize these fears. And I'm always a believer of writing things out or getting a poster board and putting a picture. I'm visual, but also I feel like when you do that and you can picture it, like this is what rejection looks like to me. And maybe you have a board and you have a picture of someone ridiculing somebody or someone pushing someone away. This is what's in my head. So on this side, I'm going to put, this is what I'm picturing. This is what I'm thinking. On this side, this is where I need to be. And I have that positive side of, even though I may be rejected or just may have the fear of rejection, the rejection may not ever really come, but I have that fear of rejection. On the other end is I have to be true to myself and succeed in this goal in spite of that fear of rejection, of failure, of success, or ridicule, because in the long run, when it all is said and done, I have to feel positive about myself. And then I've got to also keep in mind something that I say is that everything is not about you. Everything isn't about me. I tend to think it is, and I'm sure it sometimes you may. When I say that, what I mean is everything is not about me. That doesn't mean, that means that everybody is not concerned as much as I think they are about what's going on in my life. And even if it's a big sensation right then, they'll get over it and they'll move on to another sensation. And people that hate on you because you are a success, they were not supposed to be in your life anyway. And so they may fall away, or you may have to give them a little push of the falling away and say, no, I cannot let these fears hold me back, because I'm then allowing other people to control my life, other situations to control my destiny, and what my God-given talents are, our abilities are. And I have this book, and I just love it. It's called Unstoppable. And it's about people who, in spite of all odds and everything that was up against them, and even their own self-doubt and all of that, where they still became unstoppable. And great things became as a result of it. Mary Kay Cosmetics, Disney World, Kinko's, lots of different major companies and things that are presented in the world, that we're better off as a result of having them, was somebody who had all of these fears, all of these doubts, all of these disbeliefs that they actually could do whatever was in their heart. And lots of times people did reject them. Yes, they did ridicule them. That is a crazy idea. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. You're not going to make it. You're from this side of the track. You can never become a doctor. You don't even know who your daddy is. All kinds of things that were said. And in spite of all of that, they had that little tenacity within them, that little something in there that says, in spite of all that, let me push past that and let me live out my dream. Let me live out the purpose that I know was in my heart. It doesn't have to be something as big as starting Disney World and getting bankrupt 20 some times, or however many times that Walt had to go through all the rejections and the bankruptcies and all of the different ideas. Sometimes it's something just as small as, I would just like to lose 10 pounds, but I'm just afraid of what that's going to look like, and what may happen as a result of it. If I'll fail with it, if I tell somebody I'm trying, then they'll keep aggravating me and I keep on wanting to have a milkshake, whatever the case may be. It can be something just as small as, I just would like an extra dollar raise, or I just want to be able to finish reading a whole book. I have not done that, and I want to be able to focus enough to just succeed in reading this whole book. That's something that may seem very small to others and maybe even to you, but it is a success, and one thing can lead to another, more and more successes. In spite of whatever fear that you may have, make sure and recognize, am I really self-sabotaging myself? Am I the one that's holding myself back? And if I am, let me push beyond that anyway. Even if I don't believe that I can do it, let me just go to all of the ends that I can go to and see what will happen. What may happen is you just may invent the light bulb. Have a good evening. Bye.